how do we take after that? Wasn't that an amazing speech, girls? That just validates what I was saying earlier, how each and every one of your work is so colossally needed with Muslim Sisters of Eire. You know, you are amazing, and I can't, you know, all the time thank you and thank you and thank you of how much commitment that you have given to this organisation. And I know it says Muslim Sisters of Eire, but, you know, that's the legal name. But we're all together here. We've non-Muslim and Muslim coming together because we see a campaign and something that is needed, and race, colour or creed doesn't come into it. It's about a woman's need right now, and that's the most important thing. I'm going to go straight into introducing Sue. And Sue, Aisha, do you want to no, look, Sue, come on up and start doing your presentation of the amazing period poverty campaign. Aisha, do you want to do a presentation for her?
Yeah. So the overall sentiment of this presentation or this project is that global female health, ending the stigma and fighting period poverty. Firstly, acknowledgements on behalf of the team. We'd like to thank Muslim Sisters of Eire for including us and inviting us on this project. We'd like to thank Mary Lou MacDonald for opening up today, and we're very grateful for your continual support. And Lord Mayor of Dublin, Alison Gilliland, will be joining us soon, and very thanks to Senator Emer Curry. So, definition of period poverty is the lack of access to sanitary products, washing facilities, waste management and menstrual health education. It affects both women and girls, with the onset of menarche can be quite variable. And menarche is the first time a woman or a girl has gotten their period. So our global statistics, I think it's very, very important that we need to know what's happening globally for us to deal and to enforce things locally. And in 2009, Scotland became the first country in the world to provide stay there. So the consequences of period poverty, Mary Lou has covered many of them, are infections, urinary tract infections, septic shocks from dirty rags or other unsuitable materials that girls and women are forced to use. The exclusion from school and employment. Many girls in developing countries are unable to attend school or work due to the stigma of menstruation, and therefore have a reduced income. And mental health is a huge issue, so you're excluded. In some countries, girls have to leave the home, they have to sleep outside in huts, so that makes them very, very vulnerable. Next slide, please. So, Muslim Sisters of Eire, a voluntary organisation dedicated to supporting migrant women and encouraging integration. By working on the ground with the homeless and migrant community, the risk factors for period poverty in Ireland were recognised. Extensive research into period poverty was conducted by the team of volunteers to find methods of reaching some of the vulnerable groups. Next slide. So our objectives were to provide safe sanitary products to women and girls in need, and to develop information about period poverty, menstrual hygiene and period products. To provide menstrual health information in different languages, and to decrease the stigma and improve health literacy. Now, one of the many problems that was unearthed during the pandemic was digital poverty, the lack of digital access. So as well as having health information that they're fact-checked and having health literacy, that has something that has been usually recognised as a major problem. Next slide, please. So in Ireland, period poverty is a recognised issue, and the motion was passed in the Dáil and Senate Éireann to address, develop and task force to eliminate poverty in Ireland. And you can download that on the internet. So I've already said about Scotland. Now 26% of the world's population are female reproductive age. And 7 years or 2,500 days of each woman are menstruating each day. So that's, or each year or each lifespan, that's quite a lot. 2.3 billion people lack basic sanitation, and 27% have inadequate hand washing facilities. Next slide. So period refugee, it's quite a complex problem. There are at least 79.5 million forcibly displaced people around the world, and if there's one word to take from that slide is forcibly. Of those, 2.6 million live in official refugee camps, and menstrual products are not a necessity. Food is a necessity, and it's often perceived as a luxury product. Next slide, please. So, Mary-Lou has gone through the period poverty stats, so we can go on to the next slide. So, homeless period study, they conducted a study this year, and they surveyed 51 women from centres across the country, with 27 people saying that they're still charged for products, despite confirmation from the Minister of Children and Equity that products are free in every centre. Of the women that responded, 28 said that they were not offered a choice of period poverty, and 24 said that they had to ask an employee for products, with only 5 saying that they could freely access products at any time. 4 women reported waiting more than 1 day to be given sanitary products, which is unacceptable. So in Ireland, accommodation centres already provide period products to residents on a need basis to some extent. However, there may be problems with accessibility and quality. Culturally and modesty issues as well, and back with language barriers too. Next slide. So we've seen the kit. Next slide. There's a kit on every table, yeah. And it consists of sanitary towels, hygiene wipes, disposable bags and information.
And the little cards?
That's on the next slide. You're okay. So this is the card, okay? Now it might seem something basic, but if you have somebody, again, back to digital poverty, lack of access to digital to computers, many people in refugee centres do not have a smart iPhone. So it's just some of the very relevant phone numbers that a woman will need to feel safe and to contact. Next slide. So that's Livia there, packing the bags, and Ola there in the corner. I didn't want to put myself in because they were working way more than I was, so I didn't want to. So that's it. Thank you on behalf of Livia and Ola and Iris. And sorry now, I'd my back to you, but that's it. Thank you.